fulfill their mission of producing a school for young artists and give dance in Rhode Island an address. Please welcome company member Marvin.
Once upon a time, there was a family with a dance studio on their third floor. This family loved to dance. The mama would dance, the 5 kids would dance, and the papa too. The papa even created a superhero character called Ballet Man, who would leap to the defense of art. He was very busy. Time passed. Aaron became a wrestler. Rachel went to Juilliard, and Therese danced at Rhode Island College. One day the mama was invited to make a dance, and she made it with her children. The audience was so impressed, people suggested that they start a dance company, and they did. They wrote a grant and received $3,000. They thought they were rich, and they were. But they had no name, and a sad thing happened. Everett Buddy Whedon, a friend of the mama, passed away. Everett was quite the tap dancer who would say things like, "Fine as wine and dandy as candy." He used to tell the family, "Frankly, I can make you stars overnight." And when he died, the mama named the company after him, the Everett Dance Theater. Then they went to New York to audition, and David White, the director of the Dance Theater Workshop, called them the Beans of Maine. You see, the dancers drove to New York in a beat-up old van. The New Yorkers laughed at them. But after the audition, much to their surprise, all the New Yorkers loved the dance and invited them to perform there anytime they wanted. The company grew. A juggler named Marvin joined. Walter, a surfer from France, relocated. Aaron graduated from RISD, and Rachel returned from New York. And this mix started to create more works that blended dance, theater, and film. They became avant-garde. They were attracting national attention and becoming more popular outside of Rhode Island than in. They were curious about science, invention, and creativity. They worked with a physics teacher, played on a fulcrum and lever, laid on nail beds, refracted light through prisms, learned the stories of Madame Curie, Robert Oppenheimer, Isaac Newton, studied the music of John Coltrane, who was considered the scientist of jazz. But there was a problem. The company did not have a studio at home. They danced on the second floor of a bakery and were kicked out because the dust would fall on the bread. They rehearsed in Aaron's loft till the building went up for sale. So the mom, pop, son, daughter, and some other skeptical family members bought a garage on Duncan Avenue off North Main Street in Providence. It started as a horse barn. Then they turned it into a 70-seat theater so dance in Rhode Island could have an address. They planned to open in 6 months. The Carriage House Theater opened 4 years later. You see, they were dancers, except for Aaron, not builders, and certainly not fundraisers. But they persevered and finally had a place called home. The company opened a school. Ballet classes were being taught. Breakdancing became popular again, and a variety of students flocked to the Carriage House. This is where we met Sokio Ross, a young man of exceptional talent born in a refugee camp in Thailand. Sokio soon joined the company. Everett's mission was being fulfilled. They danced with newspapers, leaped on moving fences, and tackled labor issues. The labor dance won them a New York Performance Award called a Bessie, and they continued to travel the country, performing in beautiful theaters, receiving excellent reviews. They thought they were famous, but they weren't. Back home, classes had grown to include comedy improvisation and filmmaking. Comedy classes became very popular, so the company started a series called Friday Night Live, where comedy happens every Friday at 7. There's also a movie night and an open stage for newcomers to show their stuff. By 2004, Sokio, who had arrived at the Carriage House, a shy teenager, became an actor, director, and choreographer. He formed his own company called Case Close. Now the next generation of Carriage House youth are touring. As a matter of fact, they are popping up everywhere. The recession hit, times were tough, and they realized how unrich and how unfamous they were. They almost shut down the school, touring had stopped, and no new leotards were bought. The comedy troupe kept performing because no one wanted to stop laughing. Then the company had an idea and put their brains together and decided to make a new piece about the brain. They were inspired by the amazing field of neuroscience, and they knew from their past work, the Science Project, that they love working with scientists and that scientists and artists have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Aaron wrote some grants and ever became one of 6 out of 700 companies in the U.S. to receive a special award from the National Dance Project. They were rich again and honored, which makes it doubly rich. Currently titled Brainstorm, this concert will blend dance, theater, kinetic sculpture, and mobile video projections. Now in rehearsals, they are investigating many aspects of the brain, from its incredible imagery to its 75 trillion nerves. There's a lot to integrate. The company is practicing meditation, learning about consciousness, uncovering personal stories that reveal our own well-worn truths and habits, and of course, dancing up a storm. And ever wants to share their process with you. The last Thursday of every month, they are hosting the Brain Cafe at the Carriage House Theater, a free informal evening featuring the brain. Our first one was last week and included guest John Stein, neuroscientist who brought in a real brain, and tap dancer Brian Jones, who spoke about rhythm and syncopation. Brainstorm already has a national tour for 2012-13, but you can see it here first this November. We're lucky to be partnered with First Works Providence, who will present this premiere at Veterans Memorial Auditorium. But for now, check out the Brain Cafe at the Carriage House. We have cards to remind you, because we know how crowded the brain can get. And they dance happily ever after.